Hello, my fellow heart followers. I got to tell you that greeting comes from this new podcast that I started listening to called The Morning Toast. Does anyone listen to it? Oh my God, that chick, she is so funny. She's like this Jewish New Yorker, her and her sister. They have this podcast where every day they do the top 5 stories of the day. And she starts the podcast. Be sure your volume is on low when you do this, but when you hit play, she'll go, "Good morning," toasters. And I'm like, it always makes me laugh. So good morning, my heart followers. Um, Today we are talking all about why relationships end and how can we avoid that at all costs. In my experience with the relationships ending, remember month's theme is all about valuing ourselves. And so what I find is relationships end when there's kind of a couple things that happen. One is when we try to go at their speed rather than our own. Two, we don't stand up and use our voices, aka we don't communicate. And I'm sure there'll be a third as I get rolling here, but I wanted to share with you that Let Love In is officially open. 12 weeks, 12 women going through Let Love In, all about single, taking time off from dating. You love all bodies and backgrounds because we got women from all over, baby. And we are going to be focusing on understanding why you attract who you attract in the past, knowing yourself so you can set better boundaries, spot red flags quickly. And then third, if you're feeling it, that third month is going to be focused on dating. I'm going to go through your dating profile. I'm going to read your text messages. I'm going to read their dating profiles and give you feedback on them. And we are going to create conversations that actually move the dial forward so that you can start a relationship and it won't end. Now, with that being said, what I find is it's kind of a two-step process. Most people start Let Love In and then they join the How to Date program. Because we only cover about 4 weeks in Let Love In where you're dating, many people walk away from that 4 weeks and go, oh shit. So Let Love In at the time of this recording, you guys can find all the pricing and logistics and success stories and all that at katiegrimes.com. And then what's cool is you can apply a discount towards How to Date. And that is more of a monthly program with me where we have a group chat and all that stuff. I got to tell you, though, what's really cool is I should start reading some of the success stories from Let Love In on the podcast. But one of them that stands out to me was one woman said to another woman in the group, I have a best friend for life now. Oof. I was like pulling at the heartstrings. Another one was talking about through your own experiences, meaning the other women in the group. She said she found herself. My girl Giza, I could cry thinking about that one. So listen, take it from me. I'm taking 11 years of experience, mapping it into 3 months. It's appropriate to have it be 3 months because literally you can know yourself and trust yourself and understand why you've been attracted to who you have been in such a short period of time. I think it's going to be a lifelong process. This is going to be the foundation. This is going to be the awareness that you need to get the ball rolling. And then you can start dating if you feel called to. Some women do not feel called to date. Some women discover more things about themselves that need a little love and support. And so they're like, I don't really feel like dating. So some people don't. But you do have a dating plan and a relationship plan that you put together, which is customized. Like on the first 3 dates, this is exactly how I want to show up. I don't want to make out. I do, I want to have sex and I want to wait or whatever it is. And really looking at how it's so common to go at the speed of the people that we were once attracted to. And that's why I wanted to talk about that today is that if we are really truly trying to value ourselves and know ourselves, we have to understand that we have often been codependent, meaning we have based other people's opinions of what we should or shouldn't do on how we actually show up in life. And so if you found that you were going at somebody else's speed, meaning if they texted you all day, every day, then you texted all day, every day. Or if they wanted to be fun and flirty or have sex right away, and maybe you weren't fully ready, then you might push yourself to be like, oh, well, maybe they're super into me. So maybe this will go somewhere. And believe me, that was my story. I mean, I can't tell you how many times before, I would say it was really before 2018. Before 2018, I feel like there were sometimes relationships that I had been in where I was really going at their pace. And if, I really dictated how often they reached out to me based on how I felt about myself. And I know for many of you, that shit's in the past now. Like, you're not doing that because you guys are taking time off from dating. Those of you who are still actively, it's uncomfortable and you're like, I'm sick of this shit. Like, I really want to find my voice and be able to speak up for what I need. The purpose of doing that is you really need to, or the intention behind that is you really have to understand, like, one of the questions that a guy that I had dated had brought up, he said, what is your intention for, no, what do you say? If we're going to date one another and get to know one another, what are your expectations? How often do you want to be talking? How often do you want to be seeing one another? And I remember being like, what a sexy question. Hold on, let me pull my underwear off so we can have this conversation naked, because I was so attracted to him in that moment. But I got my clothes on. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And I took about a week. I talked to my coach and some safe and trusted people, and I got quiet and I journaled, and I realized, like, I'm the kind of person personally who likes to talk on the phone at least once or twice a week. And then I also like to be able to text maybe once or twice. And then I definitely like to see each other once a week, for sure. Did I already say that? No. I like to talk on the phone a couple times. I like to see each other once a week. And then as things start picking up and progress, I like to see each other at least like twice a week. And that to me feels doable. And I also like to know if the person needs to take space or is going through a hard time, like, how can I support them? Like, there's just things that need to be communicated so that I can show up in the best way possible. And by me doing that in my last relationship, it really gave me the ability to use my voice, kind of going into the second part. Like, I didn't go at his pace, I went at my own pace. And I used my voice. I spoke up for what I needed, whether that was in the bedroom or outside of the bedroom. And don't get me wrong, there were times where things didn't go as planned. Like, I remember one time we were supposed to meet at 6 and he showed up at 7:30, and I was fucking pissed. I was bullshit. I was like, who are you? And who do you think you are? I could have been doing so much other good shit rather than waiting for you. And we just miscommunicated about the time. I thought he was arriving at 6. He thought he was leaving at 6. Big difference. And I got triggered and the old stories were coming up and I wasn't a good time that night. And finally, instead of calling him that night, I just like sat on it and I was like, do I have proof that this is how it's going to go every time? No, I have proof that he's consistently shown up. This is just a one-time thing. And I called him the next day and I was like, I really got to be straight with you. I didn't really like the way that I showed up last night because I was really triggered by the fact that you showed up late. And do you notice how I kept the focus on me? Like, I wasn't like, you showed up late and therefore I was a bitch. I was like, I got triggered last night. I'm not really loving the way that I showed up last night. Can I share with you what came up? He's like, sure, what came up? That's when I was like, when you were late, it struck a chord with my abandonment issues and I'm still moving through them. And that's my shit, right? I need to heal that and I'm working on that. And I was open about it. And so I think that's one of the really powerful things is you're a woman like myself or a man. You are like myself where you value therapy, you value coaching, you value meditation and prayer and spending time with your friends and whatever it is that lights your ass up. But it's really important to not put people on a pedestal whom you're dating. Because the moment you do that, you guys, you cause a separation between yourself and the other person. Not only do you create physical space, but you create this emotional space where they're now better than you. And that just simply is not acceptable. It's not something that is appropriate for you to do. And I know that from my own experience because it hurts. It hurts when you try to minimize who you are for someone else. So really just bringing awareness to you guys. And we dive into this and let love in. So I want to encourage you that if you are all about it, I want you to head to katiegrimes.com, click on Let Love In, which pops right up once you guys are on the website. And I want you to go ahead and choose your payment option, which one you want to do. Because if you have read the page that I put together that I poured my heart and soul into, and you really identify as being the kind of person, and remember, this is for women those of you who are non-binary, that's great, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we create a really safe space with all bodies and backgrounds where you can really get to know yourself and use your voice and speak up for what you need and not be shy about it. Because you don't want to put anybody up on a pedestal. Face it, how many times have you been in a relationship or been dating somebody and they put you on a pedestal? You're like, oh, this is comfortable. I'm good. But bring me back down. Those heels, 5 inches, I need to go back down to like 3. Okay. You don't want to be that much greater than somebody, and you don't want somebody to be greater than you. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today, but I'm sending you guys a lot of love. As always, drop me a comment in the DMs in kg.com, kg.katiegrimes, or head to katiegrimes.com. I would love to see you and let love in. And if you feel like this is aligned for you, or maybe a friend or a family member, be sure to share it with them, because you guys get some cash money when you do that. So ching ching, and health and happiness, y'all.